Okay. So you are my camera person. Hi, everyone. So we are going live. This is what we've done. This is our 5th annual Movement for Peace, Awakening the Magdalene Global Peace Prayer. And so we're going live on our page. This is how we get, obviously, more people to connect around the world. The first year we had 44 locations in 17 countries. And then the next year we tripled that. And then in 2019, we had over 500,000 people praying with us on the same day at the same time for world peace. So we know that when we come together collectively and put our energy on the same focus, that we do make a difference. So we continue to grow this movement every year, and we do the 2 prayers we've done the 1 prayer for 4 years. This year we've added the prayer of St. Francis, and I'm just going to kind of make sure that this is going. Is anybody commenting? If you're out there on Facebook, anybody's watching, please comment to help the algorithm get this going. If anyone's out there. No? Do you see the little eye or anything?
No.
Oh. Chris, can you try to find me?
I'm looking. I can't get you in here.
It'll come up with a little eye in the corner and says that somebody's watching.
I don't see any.
Oh, okay. Well, we're just going to wait it out for a couple minutes, so. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Do you want to tell us what to do or anything? Are you going to wait?
Yeah. So if you haven't walked the labyrinth before, there's only one way in and one way out. It's not a maze. Like, you can't get lost. There's no dead ends. So we'll start. We just walk through, and if you just follow the path, you'll make it to the center. And you don't want to cross over any lines. You just walk through, get all the way to the center. And if you want, you can say a prayer in the center. The most popular prayer to be said in the center is the Lord's Prayer. And actually, there's a whole book about how the center of the labyrinth, each petal of the flower represents part of the Lord's Prayer. It's a very powerful sequence to do in there if you want to do that. Otherwise, you just stand there and kind of just feel the energy come in. This is an 11th Circuit labyrinth. It's replicated to the Chartres Cathedral in France labyrinth. And so labyrinths are very ancient sacred tools for spirituality, and they help to connect to energy. And so to pray and then to walk on a labyrinth, it actually helps to stimulate and activate some very powerful energies that Christians and other religions have been doing for centuries. And you might even feel it. If you're sensitive to energy, you might feel a little bit different. You walk through the whole thing, get to the center, and then you just walk out the same exact way. You can't get lost. So you just follow the trail all the way in, kind of like a puzzle. How we doing? Anybody there?
If you cross
Just him.
paths with someone, you can back up
No.
to a corner or something, but don't step out of your line.
Yeah, try to stay in line.
Close, but don't step
And
out of
you
your
can
line.
cross people, just kind of, because you will end up passing people.
Yeah.
Somebody will be on the way in, somebody's on the way
Go to
out.
a turn.
Yeah. Okay?
I have you.
Oh,
Thank you. 2 people, yay! If you're watching, can you comment where you are in the world? And thank you so much for joining us.
I don't know how to figure that.
Okay, Chris, it's okay. All right, so anybody have a time?
11:14.
So I'm going to start now so that we can have this video for later. So thank you for joining the 5th annual Movement for Peace, Awakening the Magdalene. We choose this day to honor Mary Magdalene on her chosen feast day because she represents the divine feminine in all of us, men and women. And she represents strength and honor and unconditional love for all of humanity. And for 5 years now, we've been praying for peace on a global level on this day. And we've seen many changes in the world. Back in April 15, 2019, the Cathedral of Notre Dame, the symbol of the Divine Mother, went up in flames and burnt the steeple and fell to the ground. And we were so concerned. We also recognized that day the symbolism of that crumbling. A lot of us did. Our Movement for Peace team was preparing our journey for initiation that year to go from the Santiago de Compostela to Roslyn Chapel, and Notre Dame was on that path, and the world was in shock, and we were in shock, and there was many more things to unfold. A few months later, Tim Wallace Murphy, who's the author of the book Roslyn, Guardians of the Secrets of the Holy Grail, and he died one day before we were going to meet him, and he's the one that wrote the book and did all the research that showed us the path of initiation of all these cathedrals lining up in Europe that we were actually following. So we walked that journey that the Knights Templar did of all these huge cathedrals, and we took individual prayers. All of you guys, we had people all over the world send us their prayers. We took a bag of prayers, we went to all of these sacred sites, and we prayed for peace and for change in our world, asking God for unity and compassion for all. And we walked this journey, taking the prayers, and then people following us. We started in Portugal at the famous pillar, and then we went to Fatima, where Mother Mary appeared and became a sacred place of reverence. Then we went to a castle of the Knights Templar in Tomar, Portugal. We went to Santiago de Compostela, Spain, which is the end of the Camino pilgrimage. And if you've ever heard about the Camino walk on the pilgrimage, the reason that the Santiago de Compostela is the end of the Camino is because it's the beginning of the path to enlightenment. It starts at the base chakra. That's the base chakra cathedral. So everyone came from all over Europe, and they still hike that day to get to Santiago to begin that path of spirituality in their life. Next, we went to a small chapel in Sevilla, Spain, also part of the Camino. And then we went to a convent honored to the Magdalene. Then we went to Monson's Chapel in Monson's, France, which is a place where the Knights Templar built a chapel. And on the ceiling, they've depicted diagrams to show us, oh, there's a butterfly, what frequency means, and that when we come together in these sacred sites, that the frequency can be changed, that we can change energy when we connect to God, and we connect on these energy sites. Next, we went to Toulouse, France, and we did the prayers there. That was on the Magdalene feast day. We had about 100 Magdalene followers, all dressed in white, to honor her at Notre Dame de l'Abbaye. Then we went to Orleans, in Orleans, France. We did our prayer at the Grand Cathedral. That one represents solar plexus. Then we went to Chartres Cathedral, and then we went to Notre Dame. Obviously, we didn't go inside, but we did our prayer in the street. And then we went to the Mother Mary Church. Next, we went to Orleans Cathedral. And then we flew to Roslyn Chapel in Scotland. And they allowed us to put all of these worldly prayers on the altar. And we know that there's some big change that happened. But then the following year, what happened, we were all surprised with this horrible pandemic. And COVID came, and this is not the kind of change that we thought, obviously. But a time came to humanity that was traumatizing and suffering, and caused some division and anger, but it also caused us all to pray and to unite. And it gave our earth a chance to heal. And it's actually brought more compassion to the planet. More people are helping each other. More people want to be well. And more people have compassion for loss. So even in the face of tragedy, we are seeing an uprising of love and compassion in our world. And now it's another year unfolding. So we honor Mary Magdalene and the movement for peace. It requires faith in not knowing how that's going to show up. We don't know how humanity is going to unite, how this earth is going to heal. But we do know that when we come together for a common purpose, that we make a difference. And so we can heal disease, we can relieve suffering, we can come together and intend. And that is what is going to make the better world. So whichever resonates with you online or you here in our circle, I want to show everyone who's here. So we, for several years, we've been doing the Great Invocation, which was read by Eleanor Roosevelt at the end of World War II. You can do the Lord's Prayer, you can do the St. Francis Prayer, you can do a Buddhist chant, a Hindu, whatever makes resonance in your heart that means peace to you is fine. today here in our group, we're going to do the St. Francis prayer and the Great Invocation. So, yep, and when we continue to pray with persistence and live our lives and follow our heart, we can get the results that we want, which is peace. And following us on the page, you can also follow us. All the stuff I was telling you, we're doing a documentary to teach and show people everything that we went through on that journey, and that's at seedandspark.com, Movement for Peace, Frequency of Love. So we will take a moment to do the prayer. Just take a couple deep breaths in, center ourselves, and get together. Focusing on our heart, breathing out. And on the next breath in, we'll take a breath connecting all of the hearts in this circle. And on the next breath in, connecting to all the hearts of everyone, everywhere. And then we'll begin with the prayer that starts with the Great Spirit. And if you feel comfortable, please recite it with me. Great Spirit, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, I may bring love. Where there is wrong, I may bring the spirit of forgiveness. Where there is discord, I may bring harmony. Where there is error, truth. Where there is doubt, I may bring faith. Where there is despair, I may bring hope. Where there are shadows, I may bring light. Where there is sadness, I may bring joy. Great Creator, grant that I may seek rather to comfort than to be comforted, to understand than to be understood, to be loved as to love. For it is by giving that we receive, it is in forgiving that we are forgiven, and it is in dying that we awaken to eternal life. Amen. And we'll go on to the next prayer. This is something that we'll be thinking about as we walk through the labyrinth. The affirmation as we walk through the labyrinth in just a moment will be, let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. And so we'll begin together the Great Invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of light within the heart of God, let love stream forth into human hearts. May the coming one return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills. The powerhouse which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Thank you. So we'll begin now. Whoever wants to begin, or I can start. I will start. Whoever wants to follow me, it can be in a row or whatever. So we're just focusing on light and love and power restored on earth as you go in. You can go as fast and as slow as you want. I'm going to kind of go fast just to get things moving.
Don't pass her. Pass her. Finally.
Did you flip it? You're probably filming yourself, Chris.
Found myself. What do you? Oh Jesus!
Oh. You probably, yeah, something's not right there. Looks like a roundabout is top here.
Yeah, that is.
I think we screwed up this morning. You got to go straight.
Yeah, this time I
Somehow we messed it up this morning.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right, but it's okay. We'll try to come out. Yeah. Come on in.
Come on in. You gotta turn it around, Chris, right?
I did.
Good now.
You flipped it? Come on in. Okay.
Yes, you got.
Yeah, something's not right here. I don't know how. That's okay. Everything is right for today. Divine order.
Right.
Exactly the way it's supposed to be, right? I was wondering how I got in there so quick. I wasn't planning on editing. I don't have time.
Something got moved.
We go around the center.
Forever for it to get out.
It's a long way.
That's like light. You like get on all these different paths, and you're like, wait a minute, what's taking so long? Or I haven't been on this path this long. The right road or the left road?
Center.
We did it.
Did it.
A lot of people ask why we wear white. Why we wear white and red for the Magdalene Day. And it's because white represents unity. It's the color that includes all colors. And we wear red because that's the Magdalene color. So that's why you see a lot of us in white and red. And let's see, we can go. Thank you all for watching. Let me see if we can flip you guys back around. Hi, Joyce. Okay. Wait for our last one. So if you just stand here on the ground and then close your eyes, focus into your body and see if it feels any different. Sometimes you feel a little tingly. Sometimes you feel exactly the same. That's perfect. And sometimes you feel a little lighter or almost excited, like, oh my gosh, I just went down the slide or something. Notice how you feel. And then just imagine that there's a big light ray, like a sunbeam, but it's coming from God or from infinite universe, and it's coming down, and it's coming through your whole body like a beautiful ray of light and into the earth. Connecting your feet. And just imagine that that light is all around you. And this light is filled with beautiful love and unconditional compassion. It's all around your whole body and your heart and your mind. And imagine if you could even breathe it into the body. And feel what it feels like to be loved.
next time that you breathe out, imagine that you're sharing love with the whole world. All the people, all the beings, all the animals, and the world herself. Imagine that the world feels love out of the bottoms of your feet. Every time we step on the planet, sending it love, sending it peace. This is how we change, transmute our suffering world into a world of love. We just give it. We breathe in love, and we breathe out love. And we look for the best. And we expect healing, and we expect people to show up with love. And we look for it. We look for people who are full of compassion and stories about love. And when we look for it, we find it. Thank you all for joining us.
Good job, Jill.
Thank you. Peace out.
Peace out. You know, Fee was in Dragon's Tooth in Maui.
Oh, yeah, you told me.
We all went there.
Okay, so we're going to say finish.